The case of your oil company versus bad weather. The charge that the defendant, bad weather, does distort, disfigure, conceal, and otherwise cause to be misrepresented to the public the true image of your oil company.
To you, the jury, we are about to present for your verdict the case against bad weather, alias snow, sleet, or rain. We will prove that he does cause serious damage to your company image by causing to be worn the very guise you see here in the witness chair. Furthermore, we will prove that we have the solution to the crimes he is committing against you. Now we ask you to visit with us the very scenes where these crimes have been committed. Nobody knows better than you that this is a nation on wheels. As the motorists travel the highways, day in and day out, this is what they see. Beautiful stations alive with a feeling of quality and service. Stations resplendent with all the allure that modern merchandising techniques can give them. Your industry, more than any other, is aware that people remember 85% more of what they see than of what they hear. Millions are spent to convey the best visual impression to the motoring public. Because it is recognized that visual impact pays off in gallonage, almost nothing is left undone. Symbols designed to leave an indelible image on the consumer, extra services that make the customer come back, and of course, well-uniformed attendants who reflect well upon the company, for clothes might not make the man, but they do help make the customer want to come back. Yes, it's a job effectively and well done, one of which you can be proud until bad weather strikes. Yes, when bad weather strikes, something happens. I call your attention to the prosecution's exhibit number 1, the man who represents your company. The man who, to the motoring public, is your company. What image does he transmit at this point? It is our contention that it is here that bad weather has gotten away with murder. Just look at the evidence. Numerous witnesses could be called to testify that in rain or snow, this is what your customer sees: a blurred, incomplete image, dressed up symbols, and drab-dressed company representatives. At the point of sale contact, bad weather is obliterating the very impression you spend millions to convey. Yes, everybody talks about the weather, but no one does anything about it. We will show you that something has been done about it. Two men, Don Farrington and Bill Bryan, who had developed the credit card imprinting system used by most major oil companies, recognized the crime of the blurred image and set out to develop foul weather clothing that would solve it by organizing the subsidiary of Weather King Corporation for that purpose. Since the Farrington-owned business of Sawyer Tower Products Incorporated is one of the country's pioneers and leaders in the development and production of protective garments, production know-how and facilities were readily available. Since 1835, when it first manufactured oiled clothing for fishermen, Sawyer Tower had been making garments to foil the elements. This heritage of craftsmanship from the past has been combined with modern technology to produce outerwear superior to any in the world. The company's rubber-coated clothing and neoprene-coated fabrics are used by municipalities, utilities, construction firms, boatmen, and industries everywhere. The firm has been in the forefront in the development of reflective and phosphorescent safety clothing, protective suits for rocket fuel handling, and protective clothing that resists acids, oils, and other chemicals. But here was a new challenge. This had to be something special, something never before achieved, a low-cost garment with special eye appeal to specifically fit your company image, yet able to withstand the rigors of both the weather and the oil business. and so started an extensive research and development campaign to combat your enemy, bad weather. First, the men who would wear the garments were interviewed. How did they like the idea? Well, they were enthusiastic. The findings showed that they wanted colors to conform with the company's identification. Bib-like trousers, removable jacket with hood were unanimously agreed upon. The material had to be resistant to both heat and cold, grease, oil, acid, and all the other eventualities of their working day. Roominess and lightweight were stressed. But the most common question was, when can we get them? Now began the search for the right material. It had to wear like iron and be as light as a feather. The coating had to be colorful and resistant to various oils, grease, acids, lead. Preliminary research indicated use of nylon for the fabric and polyurethane for the coating. Our material went into the laboratories for the most thorough, exhaustive testing possible. How did it withstand extremes of temperature? In the cold test, it was subjected to variations down to -5 degrees and then put to severe punishment to test for cracking or stiffness. This material must never hamper the movements of a man working outside in zero weather. Right from the Arctic-like temperature in the cold box to the hydrostatic pressure machine for another severe test. Of course, no garments are ever subjected to this type of treatment on the job, but it's a fine test of material strength, and the government specifies that a typical garment should resist 30 pounds residual hydrostatic pressure. After exposure in the cold box, Weather King material tested to 110 pounds. Washability of the fabric was a prime requirement. Grease and oils were easily removed and the stains eliminated by washing in regular household soaps and detergents. We have given the material severe, brutal tests for wear and tear. There is one test on the abrasion machine, the face of one coated material being rubbed against another piece of the material. It's similar to the reaction produced when the garment is in use, one part of the material rubbing against another. It was found that after about 50 cycles, there was no sign of wear. This is a more severe type of abrasion test, which might be compared to the punishment the knee of a garment takes when a man kneels down to change a tire. The material here is being subjected to wear by an abrading rubber wheel. We can measure the amount of wear by the loss in weight in milligrams for a set number of cycles. Hydrostatic pressure tests continue to maintain the 110-pound pressure results. And how does Weather King material compare with other protective fabrics? This is the tear test to give a comparison of lightweight, strong nylon with fabrics having more bulk. What we see here is that the coated material that goes into Weather King suits exceeds the tear strength of, say, a cotton fabric, which is 3 to 4 times the weight of our material. Every conceivable situation encountered in a service station was duplicated in the laboratory. The polyurethane coated nylon passed them all. Now pilot models were made according to the specifications developed from the research in the field. Then back to the men at the stations with the invitation to test the garments thoroughly on the job. Did they afford ample protection? Were they sufficiently light in weight? How about roominess? Test them under all conditions was the request. And test them they did in every conceivable situation. The final report? Protection, comfort, durability, appearance. Excellent. So the first foul weather suits designed specifically for the oil business went into production. In spite of the light weight of nylon as compared with the heavy materials used in the manufacture of standard foul weather garments, the technology was developed to make it adaptable to existing production machinery and techniques. Quality control is maintained throughout, in pre-coating tests, through coating operations, and after coating. Weather King Corporation's associate company, Sawyer Tower Products, put its 125 years of experience and facilities to work to produce a garment economically which would meet all the demands of a demanding business. This was the way the evidence was gathered, sifted, evaluated. This is the proof that Weather King brings against bad weather. The case of the blurred image is solved. No longer need the coming of rain or snow create a distortion of the total image you have worked to build. You know that despite the weather, your standard merchandising symbols will continue to do their jobs. But now there is a difference. They will have help right where it counts the most, at the point of customer contact. With Weather King garments, your company will have a clear, complete image, one consistent with the total effort of your organization. We maintain that in the field-tested Weather King protective clothing, the men who serve the motoring public will be an important public relations force for you. They will be seen, they will be remembered. No longer will they cast that indistinct image of anonymity. As you have seen from previous evidence, no matter what services they perform, Weather King suits pass every test. Members of the jury, the rewards of good merchandising are increased sales. Weather King Corporation offers you a new kind of merchandising, one especially tailored to your needs. We maintain that it is time that the culprit bad weather be recognized for what he is, a menace to you and your company. Weather King Corporation rests its case. The verdict is yours.